my music pals. Today we're going to read about Mr. Sergei Prokofiev. This is some of his probably most famous work, which is Peter and the Wolf. He was born in Samtskova, Ukraine in 1891, and he died in Moscow, the Soviet Union, in 1953. He was a Russian composer known for concertos, operas, symphonies, film music, ballet scores, and his famous work for children, Peter and the Wolf. Sergei Prokofiev heard music even before he was born. His mother, while pregnant, played the piano for hours each day, especially Chopin and Beethoven. As a child, Prokofiev never wanted to be anything other than a composer. After, like Stravinsky, seeing Tchaikovsky's The Sleeping Beauty at age 8, he wrote his first opera, The Giant. When he wasn't composing puppies, what he called his early pieces, he played with tin soldiers and dolls, built the dollhouses himself, and went walking on stilts. Prokofiev rarely smiled and was not popular. He always had to say what he thought. If someone said, "It's a pleasure to meet you," he might growl back, "On my part, there is no pleasure." When he was a student, he kept a chart of mistakes that other students made in class. He himself admitted that he was full of splinters. Nor was his music popular at first. Critics got so used to jumping on him that one once published a bad review of a piece that was never performed. They even picked on his appearance. He looks like the fourth from his Love for Three Oranges. His violent piano playing startled audiences. Some people said that the way he attacked the piano made them think of trees being uprooted. He had long, dangly arms and huge hands that were always moving over an invisible keyboard, even while he slept. But Prokofiev never gave up. If people walked out during his concerts, he blamed them, not the music. In America, he spent hours gazing at the skyscrapers around Central Park in New York, furious at the wonderful American orchestras that cared nothing for my music. Prokofiev married twice, once to Una Libera, a Spanish singer with whom he had 2 sons, and later Myra Mendelssohn, a Russian writer. He could work 14 hours a day, not stopping except to eat or to tell his children to be quiet. He wrote so much music that he tended to forget his own compositions. He'd hear a piece he liked on the radio, and then realize he wrote it. Prokofiev was unpopular even as a neighbor. He was once evicted when his downstairs neighbor accused him of playing the same barbaric chord on the piano 218 times in a row. He always dressed carefully. He wore a jacket and tie to breakfast. He was fond of a bright red dressing gown and loved perfume. He would walk for miles in any weather to buy cigarettes, and he'd give the colored cigarette boxes to children on his walks. He had a wolf-like dog named Mendoza and a cat who liked to sleep in his favorite armchair. Prokofiev might have liked this book. He loved biographies of musicians. He himself kept a diary, which he wrote in even while in the bathroom, and notebooks containing all his reviews, even the bad ones, and notes on his chess games. Next to music, he loved to play chess and was an excellent player. His final opera, A Tale of a Real Man, was banned by Russian leader Joseph Stalin for political reasons, and was never produced during Prokofiev's lifetime. When Prokofiev died of a stroke at age 60, his death went unreported for a week, because Stalin had died the same day. In our musical notes, when it was first composed, much of Prokofiev's music was so controversial that conductors of his symphonies sometimes received death threats. Today, he is one of the most frequently performed modern composers. Peter and the Wolf demonstrates the various instruments of the orchestra at the same time as it tells a story. Among the many famous narrators of the story was Prokofiev himself. He called his work a present not only to the children of Moscow, but also to my own. Children around the world have been introduced to classical music by way of Peter ever since. As a child at the piano, Prokofiev left out the black keys when he played because he was frightened of them. Even in his 20s, he wrote white music to be played entirely on the white keys. The first 4 notes of his first piano concerto were nicknamed "Hit on the Head" because they sounded so powerful. And so there is Mr. Prokofiev. And next time we are together, we will read about another composer. Till next time, guys, gals, and music pals.